I'm Steve McCarthy from Dual Lock Advisors, and today we want to have a look at the measurements between two townhouses in Milford Street that have been next to each other and what the impacts of the financial outcome were. Now, there are two ways to get a town planning permit, either through an architect or through a volume building method. So in this analysis, the one thing we want to do is evaluate the cost, the build and the resales. The major difference between using a volume builder or an architect is if you use an architect to get a town planning permit, you then have to use a local builder. The problem with this is that a local builder will charge you $7,000 to $8,000 a square more than a volume builder. And the problem is you're building 60 squares at a time, multiplied by $8,000 a square, you are going to pay $480,000 more for the build before you even get started because you've got an architect's plans. So therefore, one of the problems you've got, because you've used an architect, you have to use a local builder. And as a result of that, you're going to have to pay the $8,000 a square more, and it's not going to make your project feasible. So now let's look at the design. If you look at both projects, you can see that one of them on the right-hand side has 2 metres off the side boundary. That's because they haven't maximised the block of land and therefore would get less resales. It would still cost you the $8,000 a square more to build it, and you would actually get less resales than the one on the left. So now we've discussed design. When we discuss builders, even within the volume building ranks, you still have to look at what's on offer for the dollars spent. Not all volume builders charge the same, and the other problem with volume builders is they all have varied plans that you can use. So in controlling the outcome of your development financially, you've got to look at costs that are put into the project, but also resales. So you might actually spend the same as someone else within the volume building world, but you might get less resales at the end because the design doesn't stack up for the market. The other thing we find outside of Dual Lock Advisors, that anyone else in the volume building world, they're salespeople who don't have development experience, and therefore they don't know about your geographical spend, what your resales are. They're fundamentally saying to you, can you please buy a build off me? Whereas at Dual Lock Advisors, we want to discuss your designs, your geographical spend so that you don't over or undercapitalise in the suburb you're in. And also the other thing is to make sure that you maximise your resales. Resales is what it's all about, and we need to get you the highest resales by the best design that we can get on the block for you as a customisation to the block of land. On the right-hand side behind me, you can see our latest development in Milford Street, East Bentleigh, and that sold for a significant price. And the other thing was, it was well and truly contained in cost, and the client had a fantastic financial outcome. On the left-hand side behind me, we have this development designed by an architect that had to be built by a local builder and therefore charged $8,000 a square more. The problem with that also is because the design was very poor, they got less resales in the outcome of their development as well. So they've paid $400,000 more to build it, and they got $400,000 less in the resales because of a very poor design. The one thing we're asking at Dual Lock Advisors is to work out that now you're commencing property development, that you actually get advice of a property developer within an organisation who you can trust. It is imperative that you have someone to guide you through the steps of your property development to get the best fiscal outcome.